Hey guys, what's going on? Clement Bryant coming at you from the Stream.TV studios in Hollywood, California. Welcome back to Agents of Marvel. We got a little bit of a packed show here for you today. First of all, I'm going to throw it to who we have in the studio today. First of all, we have Madison Brunoehler. What up, Maddie?
Hey.
How you doing?
Guys, it's Madison Brunoehler, also known as Maddie to the Max, and it is time for Marvel. Yes.
Let's do it. And Tatiana Hullender.
Hey guys, it's Tatiana from the Marvel Report, here to do Clement's bidding.
I mean, come on, guys. I'm just freaking amazing, right? No, kidding. I'm kidding.
He's serious though, it's fine.
Not serious, but I am gorgeous, by the way. Okay, let's get into it.
Yes.
So, right into it, S.H.I.E.L.D. recap. So, a little bit of a slower episode. Not much happened, but it was still action-packed.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we
So,
learned a lot about different characters. So.
A lot,
Totally.
especially a certain guy who's on fire.
Yes! That boy is on fire!
Okay, anyway.
Sorry, we shouldn't sing.
All right, so first thing, what I want to know, why was the Darkhold so easy to find for them?
Okay,
Like,
I think it wanted them to find it.
Right.
Like, first of all, it moved the dirt it was hiding under so they could find it. It was like, it wanted them to find
I feel like she had a connection to it already,
Yeah.
you know?
but,
So,
I mean, you have, like, Daniel Whitehall.
right.
Red Skull.
But those
Nick
are,
Fury, like,
those are like not like magical characters.
Yeah,
you
it
know, like I
didn't
feel
want
like
them to find it.
But this was before she turned into a ghost, though.
Yeah.
So I was like, wait, what? Like, why was it so
I
easy to
feel like that
find?
book has an agenda.
Yeah.
And she is part of that agenda.
Also, the show wanted it to be found by her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but
That's
still,
the real
it should have been like, if that was the reason, it should have been like a
reason.
journey to
That's
find the book rather
Yeah.
than be like, oh, I'm just gonna look over dirt
Yeah, it would have
and
been
then
cool
find
to
the
see
book.
like why she specifically had learned so much about it or how she had, but it must
Totally.
be based on her backstory.
I'm
just that she's,
hoping they get more into that
Yeah.
in the backstory.
Because
Yeah,
I
me
wasn't
too.
expecting to get even this flashback.
I know, it was
You
like,
know?
No, I wasn't
Oh,
expecting it to get this
yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
But I was sad when her husband was killed off a little bit. Not that he
He
like,
seemed like a nice guy to me for a second there. Also,
He
he was
just killed.
Curt Smith, right? So I was
Right.
like, why did you get Curt Smith for one scene?
right, Curt Smith, Dawson's Creek, man. Like, come on, don't kill off my man.
I definitely expected him to be a little bit more important, which is why I think we're going to get more flashbacks.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, a little bit of a funny episode. Max lines
Yeah,
and the
okay,
reactions to the lines
Max-
like was hilarious.
Yeah, Max and Coulson actually had some great one-liners in
Yeah.
them, which I'm pretty sure he improv'd a couple of them because they just felt so fresh when he delivered them.
Right,
That it
exactly.
was like Coulson stepping up his one-liner game, and I'm loving
I think they're really
it.
just like sort of, I don't know, it feels like the season is like sort of so tight right now that like they're
Yeah.
able to sort of get into their characters more
Right.
and
Yeah.
like, for that kind of stuff.
I gotta say
Yeah,
though, when he had the EpiPen like dispenser, and he was like, "Did you stab it in the back of the neck?" He's like, "Oh hell no!"
No,
and it
right.
closed
But
right
he
in the
still
middle of
did
it.
He
Yeah.
still did.
He still did
I
it.
expected
Still did it.
Robbie to have to do it for him. I was
Oh,
really
yeah.
expecting someone else.
Yeah.
But he stepped up. You go, Max.
When he got
Yes.
offended, I was like,
Yes.
"No, you guys do not kill off my brother
Oh,
Mac.
God,
Do
no.
not kill off
I
Mac."
love that all the time.
I gotta let that.
Seriously,
All the time.
But
He's always-
I love the fact that he was like, "Okay, I'm pretty sure I got infected right now." When everyone else was like, "You're demons."
Yeah,
you're-"
exactly.
Like, even
Right.
May
He
was,
took it really
yeah, he was like,
Right.
"Well, I'm starting to see stuff, so just give me a minute here." Yeah.
Hey,
even
wait.
May didn't do that. Even May was like, "I'm seeing stuff."
Yeah.
He's just like, exactly. Hey, ABC, I'm gonna put it right there. There's only one brother on the show. Do not kill off the
him.
brother
Don't
on the
kill
show with a horror-like cliche death. Do not kill off
Do
my
not
brother
do
at
that.
all.
Don't do
like,
that.
hey, Henry
Not
Simmons,
at
if you're
all.
listening,
Not at all.
let's not have that happen, okay?
Yeah.
Let's not have it happen. All right.
Protect Mac at all costs.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
hashtag protect
Mission Mac. Save the Mac, save the world. There you go.
Yes.
That should be the new tagline.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
There you
Mac,
go,
save the
Okay.
Heroes
world.
reference.
Hey, all right. So, shifting to the serious, Jeffrey Mace came out as an Inhuman.
Yes.
To the world. Like,
Yes.
wait, what?
Yeah.
And I really loved that scene.
I
thought
did
it was,
too.
yeah.
I thought that was a marvelous scene. How Simmons would just like, okay, stick to the topics, and he was like, okay, I'm gonna tell you what's
Yeah.
up.
And like he literally, I was like, oh shit, Mace is about to lose his shit.
Yeah.
Puts the earpiece down and just like, let me tell you something. I'm an Inhuman, and I was
Right.
like, oh,
And it just
there we
followed
go.
like, it
was
followed
so
like the
great.
tropes, you know,
Yeah.
because there's so many scenes and so many movies and visuals that do that, but it was still unexpected when it
Yeah.
happened. Like
Yeah.
Totally.
it felt like such a great scene, and you, even though we know now that, I'm gonna call her Parminder Nagra because I can't remember her character's name, Nadir.
Yeah,
that
Senator
Nadir
Nadir.
like has
Yeah.
an agenda.
Yeah.
Like, you really felt like it was two equal sides debating there for a
Agreed.
minute, you know.
It felt really good. But also, I love the fact that Simmons there was like, she was like, okay, I'm going to now blackmail you.
Oh, we're gonna get into that a little bit later.
It's like showing that
We're gonna get into that.
nerds hold their own in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah. You know what I like though? I like the fact that they had the George Stephanopoulos cameo. Like
Yes.
I love how like I'm a big fan of taking things in world and relating it to the world that we're in.
Yeah.
Not so much so Senator so-and-so that has no meaning to us.
Right.
Well, you have George Stephanopoulos in there.
Yeah.
Even going back to like the Netflix universe, you have Method Man. I kind of
Yeah.
love that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And no, it's great because not only does it, like, for a second it might take you back, but in a funny way. Like, you're like, oh my God, I know that, person.
Right.
But then it pulls you in because it makes you feel like you can be part of that world.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I think that's great.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it was nice to see the team kind of come together, fight a little bit. I love that we had Quake, May, Coulson fighting.
Yeah.
Like they're all fighting, but they're not in sync yet.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. They're not on the same page.
Yeah.
Right.
Can we talk about like May and Coulson like being parents in this episode?
Yes.
Oh,
To their wayward
yeah.
child Daisy.
Yes.
I'm so
That scene between her and Daisy on the Quinjet
Yes, that
at
was
the end, I was like,
amazing.
oh my God. And she
Yeah.
started crying. I was like, wait, why am I crying right now?
so
This
many
is
emotions in
ridiculous.
that episode. Oh,
Yeah,
in that scene though.
What
so
was
perfect.
great was when it was like Coulson was like, "What did you see on the other side? What did you see on the other side?" And May was like, "I saw you." And I'm like, "They're married and everything,
Yes,
but
that's
I was
great.
like,
You know what? That was my first Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. ship. And then I gave up on it. I gave up
Yes.
on it.
I gave up on it
It's
too.
not happening.
Hey.
The
Now,
only person that I could actually see Coulson being
Yeah,
paired up with
yeah,
would be
exactly.
May.
Yeah.
Or if Lola turned into a human for some
Right.
reason.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna make a note, please. ABC, put May and Coulson together.
Yes,
We
do
want to
it.
see
to
this.
Clement.
We want to
Do
see
it.
this.
Yes.
Guys, hashtag Agents of Marvel on Twitter and comment on our YouTube stream if you want to see
Belinda
that
forever.
ship.
Yes.
Belinda?
Belinda,
All right, I'm down with
yeah.
that. All right, I'm down
Yes.
with that. All right, y'all are getting funky tonight. I like it. All right, so big thing happened. Quick was holding her own in that prison scene.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I hope so.
I was like, damn, like all her against all those guys.
Yeah.
I was like, she's
And
going to
it
get
felt so
killed.
natural too. Like it was obviously a very
Right.
choreographed scene,
Yeah.
but it really felt like from one moment to the
Yeah,
next.
I love
Like,
the
well,
fact
what do I
she
do now?
picked up the tray and just started using it old school, like.
And she's the
hitting them in
refrigerator too.
Yeah,
I was
I'm
like,
what? But it was like,
jeez.
I would hope she would be able to fight. I mean, she was trained by both Ward and May, so hopefully they taught her more than just.
But at the same time, it's so heartbreaking too, because like
Right.
she's basically suicidal at this point. You know,
Yeah.
she's just willing to do whatever
Yeah.
Exactly.
to not feel
Yeah.
the
And
pain of.
She
Someone
doesn't have
actually,
a purpose anymore.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Is that her goal is to not feel that hurt again, so she's really trying to distance herself from them, but at
Totally.
the same time she still believes in the cause. So it's like she's got to get revitalized.
Exactly.
What's gonna do it? What's
I
gonna
don't
give her
know.
that spark that she needs?
For some reason, I just randomly thought maybe Lincoln will come back as a ghost and be like, move on with your life. I don't know.
Speaking of Lincoln, that was kind of a cheap shot with May when it was like Lincoln wouldn't want this. I was like, damn, May.
yeah,
I was like,
seriously.
all right.
Like, you gotta
she's
say
right,
something.
but I
You
was
gotta say
like,
something.
don't kick a girl while she's down. I'd be mad if someone says,
she's been down for a couple of months. It's time to kick her butt back
well,
up.
still. If my girlfriend died and said someone says so and so wouldn't want you to do this, I would like hold the freaking phone. Don't throw that in my face. I'd be like, what the hell, guys? We're supposed to be bros. Like, what the shit? That's not cool.
Sometimes bros have to be mean to other bros so
Yeah.
they stop being depressing.
I know.
Hey, okay, we're moving on. Okay, you're all gonna get Clement going a little bit. Okay, so okay.
That was like a big step
Like-
back for ghostwriters.
Well, I don't
Speaking
know.
of
Well,
people taking steps back.
I mean,
Sure. I mean,
what?
I feel like I really liked the scene in the jailhouse. I mean, first of all, he walks down the
Right.
hallway and everyone's just like, nope, I'm going back in the cell.
I love
They're
that.
just
That
like,
was
you know,
awesome.
we were better off on exploding planets.
Even
And-
that scene though, they were hinting at his origins in the MCU because
yeah.
it's like slightly different from the comic books, as
Yeah.
we know.
Yeah.
And he was talking about a drive-by scene, and I was really feeling the connection between the inmate and Robbie because
Oh,
the
yeah,
inmate had
definitely,
nothing to do with it. He's like, hey man, I didn't have anything to do with this. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for this.
Like, he
Yeah.
recognized you.
Right.
As soon as
But
they
that's
walked
why-
by, he was
but
like,
that's why
I know you.
I was
like-
I know you.
So then he still killed him because he was part of
because
that
he's
same
still
group.
connected to the
Yeah.
fishy
And but he
locos,
said
yeah.
that everyone else from that group is dead.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
So,
geez.
so
but
what
Well,
happened there?
Dead is a very loose
Right, that's
term in
true.
the
That's
MCU,
true.
so
Very
it's like
much.
they could be dead,
They're comic book dead.
but they could get better.
Hashtag Coulson lives.
Yes,
I mean, let's go.
seriously.
But that was some interesting stuff. And I like just like seeing the fire from the side of the jail cell. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I felt that pain.
That's why they all all ran back
And then
into
he's like went
themselves.
back, and then just like he's just standing there, just sort of like. I was like, don't meet this guy in a dark alley,
Really?
right? I was
I
like,
would not
"Ugh."
want to
But
get in a fight
because
with
he
him.
did that, because he was busy doing that, his uncle got taken.
Yeah.
I was like, really,
Ghost
Robbie?
lady.
I was like,
Yeah.
really?
That's what I'm saying. Like, it was like, because he was ready to focus on the mission at hand and like
Yeah.
fight his inner demon, but instead he came into it. So.
Right. I was just like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like, really?
Yeah.
But that was interesting.
Although, did you guys think, the final scene where the uncle and Ghost Lady are
Lucy?
She has a name.
Ghost Lady.
Yeah.
Ghost
like
Lady.
it seemed like they were. I mean, I guess they had previously worked together.
Yeah.
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 So I guess that's why.
There was a connection.
Yeah,
there
there was
was
a
a
connection, but it's like, is he gonna switch sides? He wasn't really in a side to begin with.
I
Like,
don't-
Right.
I mean,
Would he?
I think he will.
I
Yeah.
think he'll switch to the book's side, whatever
yeah,
that
exactly.
side is.
Yeah.
I think it's a different side than the
Evil,
ghost.
taking over the
I
universe,
don't know, because
killing people.
Something when he opened that book, the way that he was handling it, it was like he was like saying hello to a
Yeah.
lover or
Right,
something.
yeah.
It was
was
just like
ominous.
hands over the
It
page.
was,
I was
yes.
like, what the shit?
Yeah. Now
Dang,
it's
someone
interesting.
wants their mom mad at them today.
Yeah, right?
Someone has cursed twice
Tip
already.
jar, tip jar.
Hey, like I said last week, there will be no swear jar in the Stream.tv Agents of Marvel Studios. Y'all follow me up there? It ain't
I'm gonna
happening.
bring one next
Okay.
time.
Yes,
Fine.
we'll just put it in the middle there. You just keep having to put in money.
And I'll throw it over the table. But
Bless my
anyways,
heart.
so back to what you were talking about, Simmons playing chicken with the director.
Yeah.
I was like,
That was an amazing scene.
wait, can we just
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
I didn't think she had it in her.
I
but
didn't think she did
Well,
either.
she has proven us wrong on so many times where she
Yeah.
has stood her own, like in her standalone episode, still to this day, I believe is one of the best
Oh, that was a
episodes.
really good episode.
Oh,
And
that's still one of my
she's-
favorites.
She will pull it out the stops at points where you're like, oh, she's just doomed. And then she'll be like, she'll go like, I am in control here.
Yeah.
I am the one in charge here, and you are going to do what I say now.
And she's like, you're not a hero as you portray yourself to be. And I was like,
right.
I
ooh.
know.
I know. I
That's
definitely
I
wanna
wanna
know.
see.
I definitely want to know what's going on.
I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
He seems like the one thing that I appreciated about Jason Amar's performance in that episode, it was very serious, but at times it was very comedic, like straight man comedic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like it was great because there was that moment where it was like, oh, I need to get inside your mind.
Right.
Earpiece.
he seems like a guy who doesn't take anything seriously.
Yeah.
But he always does everything with like very specific intentions.
Yes.
Right.
And I really like that about him.
I think that's cool is like a team that's together is a team that trusts or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's so corny,
that
and then it's
trusts is a
like
team that
a team that
triumphs.
trusts. Yeah, right.
It sounds very Captain America, doesn't
And
it?
boy, exactly. I was
Isn't,
like,
isn't he like the Patriot or something?
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
he's a patriot.
Yeah.
But in the comic book, so I was just like, this guy is awesome. But I like that scene where he's like, Agent Simmons, come with me, please. And he's like, can I trust you, Agent Simmons?
Right.
He's
That
like,
was,
good, because I need your help.
Yeah,
I was like,
absolutely.
that was definitely like a little bait and switch there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
What?
maybe Joss had a hand in writing that scene because that was just extra witty a little
Right.
bit. You can always tell when Joss helps with an episode because
Sometimes.
it's just a little bit fresher.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit.
It's a little bit funnier.
So I forgot to mention this. Cedric House in our YouTube stream says, did anybody catch that Ghost Rider, the Johnny Blaze Easter egg in the beginning with Quentin Carnival poster?
No, I did not.
I saw that earlier. I went back and watched the episode before work this morning. I was like,
yeah?
wait, I saw that. I forgot to put it in our text sheet this morning. I was like,
Oh.
wait, I did see
Clement
that.
just set us up for failure. It's fine.
Hey, Clement is an amazing person. Let's not have that again.
It's my bad. It's my bad. I didn't notice it. All right, tell me what it was.
But no, it was there was like, so basically Johnny Blaze, the comics, performed at the Quentin Festival.
Oh,
So basically
okay.
it's like an Easter egg in the
Right.
universe.
I wouldn't have
Yeah,
gotten that.
Maybe.
That way.
Really
That's
good.
great.
It's like
That's really
a
cool.
small thing for like the Johnny
Super
Blaze
yeah,
style.
yeah.
But I was like,
That's a nice one.
Yeah.
that's gonna go.
Absolutely.
All right, so I think we have one last thing for the S.H.I.E.L.D. recap. Mace finally finds out the truth.
Yeah, that was sad.
I wasn't sad. I was like, it's about freaking
I mean,
time.
he needs to know,
He
and I
needs to
hope,
know.
I hope that he can know in order to eventually help them with it, because I think he can be useful.
I don't know if
but-
he's gonna help him. I feel like he's gonna turn into someone that's
Bad?
not bad, but like he thinks he's doing the best, like an
Right.
anti-hero kind of type thing, where he's like completely against them, and maybe at the last minute, just like, you know what? At the last minute, I'm gonna help this team because the team is my baby or something like that. That's
yeah.
what
I
it's
think
gonna
eventually
be.
it will lead to
maybe.
that.
I don't
Eventually.
know.
I think it will eventually.
His cards are still like
Because I feel like he's
not on the
at
table.
heart a good person. I feel like inside, why are you making this little whatever?
I'm like, I don't know. I don't
We'll
trust
make
him.
it We'll make
I
it
don't
that.
trust him.
I didn't trust him at first, and now I'm just like, he's like a little cuddly teddy bear.
Well, you know, if you had the swear jar, you could just put all your bets right in there.
Exactly.
That
Whoever
would
wins,
work.
there you go. Then we'll win.
Hey, how many times I gotta tell you? No swear jar.
If you think that Clement should have a swear jar, then you should tweet us at #AgentsOfMarvel, either now so we can answer your questions later, or throughout the week so we can talk to you next week about it.
Yes.
Hey, and use #AgentsOfMarvel if you don't want Clement to have a swear jar. Okay?
Also do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll make a poll later.
So we're gonna get into the TV verse now.
Yes.
All right.
So some news dropped yesterday that the Punisher is finally rounding its cast with 5 new members.
Yes.
It's about time.
Yeah.
Because there's been literally no information about it until New York Comic Con.
Yeah.
Went down a little bit. Now we have 5 new actors on the cast.
But like, a lot of those characters aren't from the Punisher comics.
Right.
So it's sort of like still having no information.
Right.
I'm not sure what they
But they're pretty good people. They're
Yeah.
pretty good people.
Yeah.
So Daniel Weber, you see him overweight. I'm not sure if you can see him all the way to the left. He was Lee Harvey Oswald in 11/22/63 on Hulu.
Yeah.
So I saw a couple episodes way back when, before it came out. But he's good. He's very good. So he's going to be a good addition to the cast.
And he's playing a soldier readjusting after
Correct.
civilian life.
Yeah.
So
Correct.
someone who shares some qualities with the Punisher.
Right.
There you
So
go.
we'll see how that plays out.
Bonding.
Yeah.
Bonding.
Bromance.
I'm not sure about a bromance.
Or mentorship at least.
Yeah.
Something. You know, yeah.
So next we have Paul Schlues, who was actually in this current season of Suits.
Oh, okay.
So do you guys watch Suits at all?
I haven't
I've seen
watched
a
the
little
season,
bit.
but I did
Yeah,
watch
he's
before.
very good. He played basically this character opposite of what's the main character is Mike.
Yeah.
Basically in a jail cell, basically being his rival of sorts.
Oh,
So he's a really
alright.
good actor. He was actually
Cool.
Nurse Jackie too. So he's gonna be really good.
He's got a high
Yeah.
He's
profile then.
super dope.
And he's playing Rollins.
Correct.
Right? Yeah. And
Yeah.
that one is a character from the
Yep.
comics.
That
A
one.
CIA operative.
We also have an addition for Micro. He's getting a wife in the form of Jamie Ray Newman, who
How
was in
nice.
Bates Motel. I've seen her in a couple scenes. I think she'll be good to
Yeah.
play off
Yeah.
of. What is it? Eben Moss Bacharach?
Yes,
Yeah.
that is-
so
that is who it is.
He's gonna be. I feel like
Yeah.
their parenting's gonna be.
And it's
very
always good to add more female characters.
I mean, totally. That's one thing I want. Who else do we have on joining the cast? We have Jason Armour and Michael Nathan. I'm not familiar with these two, but
But I do know that Curtis
Yeah.
Hoyle is a pretty important character in the Punisher comics. So,
so
get that
that'll
story.
be interesting. I just want to see a little bit of a teaser trailer. I know they're still filming, but I am excited for this series.
How much do they have left to film?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
But you know the
Because
teaser.
they're still filming.
What the teaser trailer is going to be is it's just going to be showing you the opening title sequence. They're not going to show you. That's what
Well,
they
maybe
do.
for Luke Cage, they didn't release it until like the day before.
Yeah.
Like, and they usually do it. For Jessica Jones, they did it about a month out
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
release date.
Yeah.
There was a
So-
lot. We had more time for that one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Daredevil.
And Iron Fist is already out.
right.
So,
So we'll
I mean,
see.
a trailer is
Well,
out.
the trailer is out, but
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes.
I'm definitely excited for
Speaking
that
of
one.
Jessica Jones.
So we got some interesting information this week
Yeah.
from Mo Ryan, popular journalist. I'm not sure if you know her. So Jessica Jones season 2 will have all female directors.
Yes, and that is great.
That is great.
So I think that
so
is just
what do
a
you guys think
brilliant
of that?
move.
I
Yeah.
want to throw it to you.
Yeah, that is just an absolute brilliant move to do. I mean, this is already a show that is such a strong female character.
Right.
I mean, half the cast is strong female characters, so to have it be directed by strong female women, I think is absolutely brilliant.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love this idea. I
Yeah.
think this is Marvel taking more steps to be innovative, to take a step ahead of what other networks are doing.
Yes.
And I hope that they also take the time to hire women of color too, because while Jessica Jones was great, and in terms of its female cast, it had 6 major female characters that were all white. And they
Totally.
didn't have to be all white.
Totally.
You know? And so we need to be able to develop more stories that aren't just
I agree.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. I think this is a really good move. When I saw it, I was like, wait, that's amazing. And kind of think about what kind of impact this will have on other networks
exactly.
as well.
And you know what? I think I heard that Ava DuVernay had all-female directors, maybe for Queen Sugar. It was something that she hired
Yeah.
all-female directors for.
Yeah.
So and that's the kind of stuff that gets press, that gets other people thinking like, oh, I guess we could do that too.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
So thank you, Ava. Thank
Yeah.
you. I can't remember the name of the Jessica Jones lady, but you're awesome.
The showrunner?
Yeah, the showrunner.
Melissa Rosenberg.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
So-
opening the door for other people
Yeah,
to want
I mean,
Exactly.
Marvel does a lot of things that kind of sets the standard for a lot of things. So I'm really
Exactly.
glad they're kind of setting this here and saying, okay, we're gonna do
And
this.
even like speaking as a black man in Hollywood, Hollywood is not so nice to people of color and minorities. So having something like this, I want to see that. I kind of feel like along with this, Marvel is also, their casting with Spider-Man Homecoming is great.
Exactly.
I mean, not to go back to a male-dominated part, but
even then, it's like with Mary Jane and with Liz Allen, you know? You're showing, because this is going to be successful no matter what, so you're showing like you can succeed with diversity.
Right. It's an important thing, and I want to see it continue.
Yeah.
So let's get into the main discussion point, which I want to see you guys. What characters do you want to see in a Netflix Marvel series?
Okay, let me think. Maybe Agent Carter.
There you go.
Just saying, like that would be great if Peggy got her Netflix series and was able to tell her entire story like she was supposed to.
All right.
This is my soapbox. I'm sticking to it. Hashtag save Agent Carter.
Wait, I need a soapbox to actually write on.
Yes.
This is not his right box.
Yes.
And I want to see, obviously, I want to see Misty Knight get her own series first and foremost.
Yeah.
Or at least Daughters of the Dragon with Colleen Wicks. That would be my number one.
That'd be great.
But separate from, you know, Hell's Kitchen, Harlem, New York City, I would love to see Miss Marvel or Miss America.
Yes.
I think both of those are great. And it's also like, it's a younger demographic for both. But it's still like, 'cause kids watch Netflix too, you know? And if you want to make it, like, I don't know, teen plus, you can definitely do that.
Right, totally. You know who I want to see? She-Hulk.
Oh, that would be great. That would
Like,
be great.
I want to see, like, with the way that She-Hulk is a lawyer for, like, the heroes and the comics and everything like that, that would be a good series for her to take. It relates to the larger MCU with her being Hulk.
Yeah.
She has her own comic coming out, which would be great to kind of for synergy for Marvel, because we all know they're all about synergy.
Yeah.
So that would be great. And also, I just feel like her story is something that people want to see and should be told.
Yeah.
Not so much from, I know what fanboys are thinking, it's like a fetish aspect. I want to see it from more of a, this is a great, strong female character to see that should be leading in a series.
And because we don't have as much of Hulk as people would necessarily like.
Exactly.
Right.
It's something that they can take a chance on in Netflix instead.
Totally.
Which would
You'll see
totally
Hulk.
work. I mean, she's a lawyer, and there's like 3 or 4 law firms in the Netflix series.
That's true. She could
It's
definitely
like-
show
she could
up in
totally
someone
work
else's
there
series.
very easily. It
Easily.
would tie in
And then
beautifully.
I
That's
gotta
so
say,
clever.
Thank you.
one last thing, Moon Knight. There needs to be a
there
Moon
you
Knight
go.
series.
Yes. All
Like,
right, all right.
people have been saying this since the beginning. Moon Knight needs a series. His comic books are some of my favorite comic books of like the last 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Like, I know there's a lot more richer stories past that, but that needs to happen, like urgently. Netflix, if you hear me, Moon Knight and She-Hulk and Agent Carter.
Yes,
and what
Agent
was
Carter.
yours?
Agent Carter.
What do
I
you
said
want?
Miss Marvel or Miss America.
I don't know. Miss Marvel might have something going
I
on.
hope so.
I think
Yeah.
now, not this is a confirmation, but I think that's the show that John Ridley is working on, something with Miss Marvel.
Oh,
it
that would be
only
amazing.
makes
That
sense.
would make sense.
Yeah, that would make sense.
It makes sense, especially what he does with American Crime.
Yeah.
That needs to happen.
Yeah.
I would like to see him take that on.
Absolutely.
So who knows? So we're gonna shift into the movieverse right now.
Yes.
So the big news of the last week is Tim Miller will not return to direct Deadpool 2.
Yeah. That's sad.
That
Very sad.
I'm not surprised about,
Yeah.
honestly, because
And once we read like all the things that they were saying or the
Right.
reasons for it, it seems like it was the best move.
right, and especially I kind of saw this back when the news about Cable, Kyle Chandler's like potential casting of Cable was happening, when they said they weren't agreeing on it.
Yeah. I love
I
Kyle
was
Chandler, but I don't see him as Cable.
I didn't really mind it at all because it was kind of offbeat, kind of the style that Deadpool was going for. And I love Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights,
Yeah,
from
and he's an
Bloodline
amazing
season
actor.
1. He's great. So I wasn't really mad at that. But that infighting that I heard about, I was like, this might not be the way to go.
Yeah.
And especially that he wanted to inflate the budget to $150 million.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
why would you want to make a bigger budget
Exactly.
when you already succeeded on the
And
small one?
that-
That's what people loved about
right.
it. They
Yeah.
were drawn to it not being a studio film.
What is it,
Right.
almost $800 million worldwide on almost $60 million budget? It doesn't make sense to inflate the budget. Maybe by 10 million, not by to 150
Right.
million.
Yeah.
And I think he was going for something a little more stylized.
Yeah.
But Deadpool should be it should be a direct sequel. Adding characters, adding to the storyline, maybe
Absolutely.
going a little bit dark into the character,
Yeah.
into what is it, Miranda Baccarin's character. She's
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
But something like that, I don't want to see shift. So I can
Yeah.
understand why the studio backed Ryan and the screenwriters
Yeah.
rather than going with Tim. Now, where I come in is that Blur Studios, who what Tim Miller owns, did a lot of the CGI work
Yeah,
on the
I
movie.
heard that. So that's also part of why the movie is great. So
Right.
it'll be interesting to see what they do with a different visual style.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll
Hopefully.
see.
So long as they hold true to the heart of Deadpool, I'll be happy.
Right.
Exactly, and he wanted to go a little bit darker,
Yeah.
whereas you should stick to the jokes and the wisecracking of what Deadpool
Because
is.
I mean, that's the thing about Deadpool is that the storyline's pretty generic, but it's the
Right.
heart of Deadpool and the wisecracking jokes all the time that makes it so good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, speaking as someone who's like read Deadpool for like basically my whole life, why change it up?
No,
Yeah.
don't.
Why change it up, especially with the way that Ryan Reynolds portrays the character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Like-
always just sew his mouth shut and do that again, but
Right.
Hell no.
No, but like
Hell
the
no.
fact that the writers and Ryan Reynolds were on the same page about it
Right.
gives me, it makes me think that it's gonna, whatever they come up with or whatever
Yeah.
they decided will be for the best.
Right, and exactly, we're gonna get onto who we think we should direct.
Yeah.
But I think that it's still amicable from what I hear because he's jumping into a new project anyways, Tim Miller
Okay.
is.
Yeah.
So called Influx. So
Yeah.
it's still amicable because he's still working with the studio.
good.
totally.
Now, who do you guys think should direct Deadpool 2?
I have two things that might work really well.
Oh.
Go, take it.
One, Quentin Tarantino, anybody?
Right.
I mean,
I
mean,
have
he-
issues about that one.
I mean, it
Keep
wouldn't
going.
be perfect, but he has a lot of. Quentin Tarantino has really no problems with showing pretty graphic stuff and very explosion actiony kind of things, and still being very good with characters. So that might be kind of interesting, but at the same time, I'm not really sure Quentin Tarantino would want to do a superhero movie. So that's my thought on that. My second thought is, why not have Ryan Reynolds direct it? I mean, come on. He already loves Deadpool so much. Just give it all to him. Just give Ryan Reynolds
It would be
everything.
All the
It would
control.
be like his debut.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
directing
That's the
debut.
only-
Totally.
Like,
So-
that would be fine.
I don't know if
Seeing
he
as how
can
he
direct or
was
not, but-
born to be Deadpool,
Deadpool.
I think that would be excellent.
What are your thoughts, Clement?
Yes.
I want to hear what you're gonna say.
Oh no, I don't like that. Okay, so I like reasons why these things don't work, but I like. Okay, so Justin Lin, but the problem with him is that it's like what he's known for right now are big budget action movies. Now he's
Right.
done a great job with them,
Right.
but he'd have to be willing to scale it down.
Right.
And
Totally.
I think you'd do it, Justin. I think you'd scale it down.
Yes.
Totally.
But if not that, I don't know. I like the idea of Lexi Alexander just because I think that she has like a really like
Lexi's good.
yeah, sharp sense of humor, but also she was, even though the Punisher movies aren't like particularly like loved, but
Right.
but the directing was good
Yes.
in
Right.
her movie, and it was very gory, and it was,
Very good.
Yeah.
I was like,
so she can do
"Jeez."
that, but probably lighten it up a bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I'm gonna get into the three that I think. First pick, Saska Sisters.
Oh, okay.
Oh, all right.
So basically, they're a little bit more indie. They directed some horror films. They directed a cut or a story on ABC's The Death 2 that came out from Magnet Releasing a couple years ago. And they did a movie called American Mary. So they're really good. They're kind of like offbeat comedy, but they're very good in horror and gore and everything that Deadpool is about.
Right.
I think they would be able to definitely speak well to the character, and they're female directors too,
Yeah,
which we
yeah,
need to
that'd be
see
great.
more of too.
And I also think like Wade is actually really in touch with his emotions.
Right.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
So
Totally.
it's something that a woman can definitely lend
Right.
perspective to.
Totally.
Not
And
that men can't do it anyway. I'm just
exactly.
saying.
And there's a
But
couple
he's not
people.
going to be Batman all gloom and doom all the time.
Exactly.
That's
Right,
not
I'm Batman.
Wade.
Yeah.
Just
All
like
right.
I have interior thoughts.
So
It's
two
like,
more. I think Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
Got Edgar Wright. If no one since has seen Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, like
Such
he's
a
so
good. movie.
good.
It
He's
is
so good.
So
That would be
incredibly
good.
very
stylized.
specific, yeah, exactly, with a very specific style
Exactly.
that
Yeah.
you can do.
Exactly.
for sure.
And
Yeah.
then Matthew Vaughn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Matthew Vaughn, I'm going to say this. Okay, he might be the cliche pick, but you
cliche
can't
pick.
argue with his results. Kingsman.
Yeah.
What else has he done? First Class, in my
Yeah.
opinion,
First
the
Class-
best X-Men film in the
Definitely.
franchise.
Definitely.
It definitely
like-
rebooted the franchise.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. And he was going to do Days of Future Past before Singer came on.
Yeah.
I think he might be the best one to take into it if he's still not working on Kingsman 2.
Right.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I do have a rebuttal for you on Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
So
Tell me.
I would like to see Quentin Tarantino, but like you said, I think that he's kind of too much into his own stuff right now
Yeah.
to being it. But I would still like to see it. But maybe if it was like, if there was no Deadpool movie or franchise to go off of.
Right.
Right.
No, because he's like an auteur more, right?
Right.
Yeah.
He's
He
more of
wants
an
to
auteur.
direct what he's
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I still want to see that. I like your
Yeah.
choice, though.
Thank
I like
you.
your choice.
Thank you.
All right. So,
But you
all
guys
right.
can definitely join in the conversation using the hashtag Agents of Marvel. Please let us know what your thoughts are and who would you like to see direct this next movie.
Totally. So we're going to get into some Doctor Strange news. So a lot of the reviews are starting to come out.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing very good things about it.
Especially with the visuals.
Exactly.
Which
Yes.
you, of course,
I mean,
told us about your acid trip.
Yeah.
Hashtag acid trip. But like, I feel like that does well for the character.
Yeah.
What I've heard though, people are complaining about it that it's still to the corporate strategy of Marvel. Like same origin story kind of template.
Yeah, I heard it's very similar
Right.
to Iron Man, right?
Right, exactly. It's
Yeah.
basically like
I was not expecting
Iron
at all.
Man for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at that. You can't argue with Marvel's results.
Yeah.
Like,
And also, if you want to make someone sort of feel, not necessarily welcome, but sort of feel comfortable in that story because it's already such a different setting and it's such a different, like, the mystical approach is so
Yeah.
different from what Marvel's done before.
Right.
Giving it a format that they can follow.
totally.
Not necessarily a bad thing.
And that is his origin story. Like
Yeah.
I've read other things with him, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of similar.
Like, why not?
Yeah,
Exactly.
It
so,
clearly
right.
works as an
Right.
origin story.
Like, I just want to say that I'm still not on board with the, with too many white people in it. But
I will
wanna
say
say
that. I'm going to say one thing.
Okay.
I am against whitewashing, but people are saying that Tilda Swinton is one of the best parts of the movie.
Right, and I mean,
Right.
and I wouldn't, obviously, it's Tilda Swinton, so she's gonna be good.
Right.
Yeah. But like, and it's not her fault that this happened.
Right, totally.
So, but I still
Right.
would have liked it to not happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. Same here.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see the movie. We're going to see it next Friday, 10:30.
I know.
I'm seeing
You
on
guys-
Thursday.
Oh.
Hey, don't
you're
be
seeing
Clement and
for us.
Tatiana, okay?
Right, 10:30 at night, right?
10:30 at night.
That'll be
checking.
amazing.
Hey,
I'm
I'm gonna smoke it and be like, hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? That's gonna be great. So, some interesting news coming from Kevin Feige is the Illuminati coming to the MCU.
Okay.
How?
I love this. I actually thought about this a couple weeks ago, but I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to cite the ire of the Marvel fan community.
Oh, okay.
But Doctor Strange, Iron Man,
Right.
Black Panther. You have three of the movie,
Yeah.
the characters right there. So I think that's going to happen. So you know the Illuminati from the
Yeah.
comic
I'm
books.
only wondering because I thought that RDJ is kind of. I thought that Robert Downey Jr. was maybe dropping off.
I
of
don't
Marvel
know.
Movies,
But what's interesting is he and Chadwick Boseman were at the premiere last week.
Yeah,
Like,
so-
wait, what? Like, I was like, wait, why are they there? They don't come in anything
That's
else but
true.
their own movies.
It already sort of puts it in your mind.
Right. So I was like,
Yeah.
why? But I would actually love to see this. Of course, you can't have Mr. Fantastic. You can't have Namor.
Yeah, but you
like-
could introduce because you could introduce the Inhumans.
Right.
You already
And
we already
Black Bolt.
have. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Have
I
Black
mean,
Bolt.
there's supposed to be classic humans and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a way to cross that over. Who knows?
And
I
that
wanna
could be
see
one
that.
of the crossovers that they were maybe sort of teasing about finally doing.
Maybe,
Yeah. So.
maybe. So some interesting comments from Kevin Feige about Captain Marvel. She's going to be the strongest hero. What do you guys think about that?
I feel like that's just accurate, right? Like, don't they
Yeah.
say in the comics even that Carol Danvers is one of the strongest?
She's the one
Yeah.
of the strongest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's one of the
So,
strongest.
I mean,
would-
I think it's like it's not necessary to make her like the strongest to prove that women can be strong, because of course
Right.
women can be strong. But it's true to the character, and it's just an easy way in. you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, totally. And I'm looking forward to see Brie Larson do this. She's gonna kill this role, especially with a script that I'm hearing is really
Yeah.
good.
And she's
So-
such a strong actress, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It'll be great.
So we're gonna get into the last part of the Marvel movieverse.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about the Logan trailer that dropped last week?
I wept like a baby.
It
Same.
looks amazing, but I'm like, what timeline is this?
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
It's like a year after Days of Future Past, and people were like putting up memes like, a lot of things happen in a year.
Yeah,
But
really.
I gotta say, first from the trailer, I like the way that it's not bam, pow, smack.
Right.
It feels
Character conflict,
bam,
like
smack, bow.
exactly.
Yeah, it was a lot more of a, we're gonna see Logan go through some like really emotional. It feels a lot slower, which is great.
Yeah.
Right.
Because the X-Men movies have just always been like, fight.
Right.
I love that you can come into it not necessarily thinking about the other X-Men movies.
Right,
Yeah.
and I
As long as you know,
expected, like,
Wolverine is a character.
right,
So.
and I love the way that they used Johnny Cash's hurt to kind of like sink into the trailer. That
Yeah.
was so good, and I was like, wow, they actually took their time to actually think this through rather than just put together a trailer that's bam, pow, smack, character conflict. We're gonna fight now. Claws, Wolverine.
Yeah.
Like this is actually what I want to see,
And it
I
also
think
just-
like yeah.
Like Hugh Jackman's getting up there in years. He still looks great,
Yeah.
but
Right.
so it fits. Like we sort of like grown up with, or we've
Yeah.
seen Wolverine for so many years. Like it makes sense that he's gotten old by
Absolutely.
this time.
And the thing about it, I'm like,
No.
okay, like he's like, there's no more mutants left, and you see the scars on his back.
Oh,
It's like,
God.
so like, how are there no more? Was there like an airborne pathogen that destroyed the mutation or something? It's like, how does that work? I really want to know what this is.
I love the trailer.
And also, if that's true and he doesn't heal anymore, when he extends those claws,
He's
those
gonna be-
aren't healing.
He's gonna be screwed.
Yeah,
Like
and we see him extend the claws because
Right.
he does, but it's like he's gonna retract those and he's still gonna be bleeding.
Yeah.
And as he said in the very first X-Men movie, it hurts every single time those things come out. So I'm sure it hurts even more when they don't heal right away.
Totally. So speaking on a little bit of a serious note, we're gonna get into the comic verse. So first thing, I'm sure you guys heard, legendary artist Steve Dillon passed away last week. We three of us are very, very sad to hear this news. He was definitely an influence of mine, especially with his work on Preacher.
Yeah.
Especially kind of Daredevil season 2 leading into what he did, especially with Daredevil kind of tied to the pole.
Yeah.
Everything like that. That really got me last week.
Yeah.
I was seriously upset by that. What is your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it's really sad, and I mean, I wasn't as connected to his work as you are clearly, but just to read everyone's stories about him, and like just the way that he's inspired different people with his comics and Preacher itself.
yeah, like totally, like that really kind of threw me through a loop last
yeah, and also
week.
because he's not like young, but
Right.
he's too young.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Like
it just
like,
hits
man,
anyone.
That kind of like I kind of cried a little bit. That was not something that I wanted to wake up to.
Yeah.
So, Steve, we miss you. Everything. I don't have any words, but hopefully, we'll see you again soon. And I don't really have anything else to say about it.
I mean,
because that,
your work will
like,
live on. So
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. All right, so a little bit happier news. New X-Men comics coming in 2017. Yeah, let's do this. Like,
Speaking of X-Men again.
X-Men, yeah, let's do it. But,
Yeah.
no.
So there's a new Resurrection with an X.
Boo. Boo.
That's what it's called.
I
It's
know,
called
that's
Resurrection. It's not my fault.
Boo.
Also, it's kind of like Pokemon because we're gonna have the X-Men Blue and the X-Men Gold.
Which makes no sense in those colors.
Yeah, she doesn't like that. She's not here for
It doesn't
that.
make sense that it's gold and blue. It should be like gold and amethyst or yellow and blue.
Or Emerald and
I was
Ruby.
like, what is going
But
on?
anyway, there will
Like-
also be individual series. So we're going to get ongoing titles for Jean Grey,
Yeah.
for Iceman, and then a resurrection of Generation X.
And Cable and Jean Grey. Yes,
I'm very
yes,
excited
I'm
for
so
Jean Grey.
excited.
So,
Wait, I can't
It
wait.
looks like the war between the Inhumans and the X-Men that's going on right now is going to come to a close. Like, tagline, I think, is like an ending, a beginning. So,
Totally.
Yeah.
some things are going to end, and then some things are going to, I keep wanting to say rebirth, but resurrection,
Rebirth.
it's fine.
Rebirth.
I'm sorry.
Get out of here with your DC
I'm
stuff.
sorry.
Get out of here with
It's
your
not my
DC
fault they
stuff.
chose this title. So it's
DC,
coming in
okay.
spring of 2017. So be on the lookout
Yeah,
for the different
definitely.
X-Men titles that you want to get involved with.
So some new comics hit this week.
Yep.
Most important, Civil War II,
Most important.
Part 6.
Part 6.
I
Too
was
many
talking
parts.
about too many parts, but I was talking about this a couple weeks ago. Read this issue. I read it this morning,
Oh, okay.
and it's freaking spectacular.
All right.
I'm going to put it out there right now. Read this issue if you do nothing else this week.
right.
And read Miss Marvel number 12.
I was going to say,
Yes.
I want you to read Miss
Yeah.
Marvel. That's the
Yeah.
issue. Because Kamala's going to go to Karachi. She's going to meet, more of her family. She's
Yep.
going to see more of her own backstory and her culture. So it's a really interesting issue, that you're going to learn a lot more about her
Totally.
and about her human side,
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
than her inhuman side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that. And of course, Doctor Strange has a comic book that came out today. What is it? Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme #1.
Right. So if you are kind of like wanting to know something about Doctor Strange before you see the movie, that's what you can check out.
Yep.
Damn right. Okay, last part of Comic Burst. So let's talk about this Riri Williams cover. I didn't really have a problem with it. It wasn't like overly sexual to me.
Yeah.
It didn't
Yeah?
scream something that was sexual, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. Like,
I didn't get that from the-
I didn't
I
get
just
that
felt
vibe.
like it aged her up so much.
Really?
And not only did it age her up, it lightened her skin tone so much.
That I did
thought
have
she
a problem
looked
with
younger.
I mean, like, look at her abs,
Yeah,
though. Like, her
compared to
abs are
that-
so much more defined. You
Yeah.
see those lines going down in the V,
See-
you know?
Yeah.
And she's in that same pose as Mary Jane was from, like, a pinup poster of Mary Jane that the same artist did, like, several years back.
Oh, yeah.
You
J.
know, it's
Scott
sort of
Campbell,
like
I
a traced
remember,
over,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just feel like it was... And just the fact that so many people had a negative reaction to it
Like-
speaks to...
Yeah, there was okay to have a negative reaction, but
Yeah.
I feel like it was overblown for what it was.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. When I will see like stuff that is actually like the Spider-Man woman comic that came out a couple years ago, that pissed me off. I was like, wait, what the hell? What is this?
I think it's because for me, it's that it's the first new thing we're seeing of her since she was announced.
Right.
You know, you want it to be keeping in the spirit of what she represents.
Yeah.
Right, totally.
And it's definitely, I don't know, it definitely seems like it's really far out there. And he's also an artist that's known for pinup art.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
so-
but yeah, I don't know.
Now, see, the thing I got from that, it was like, I didn't feel super offended by it because I
Yeah.
thought it was like the hip hop more, the thing was a little, you know, it looked more cartoony. My
Right.
problem with it was that it didn't tell the story that the first one did. You see the cover, of it, it's
Exactly.
like, it looks like Tony's handing over the mantle to Iron Man to her, you know, she's seated. And
Right.
with the other one, it was like, what did she just do? Did she break in and steal
It
his
definitely didn't
helmet?
tell the story, that's
Is
for
she
sure.
now
Totally.
saying, stop in the
It
name of
wasn't.
love?
It didn't sell it. I can
Right.
see your point with
There's,
that. Yeah.
that reminds me that there's another cover that's come out, and specifically for one comic book store that's run by a black woman.
I saw
right?
that.
And it has her on the cover
Yeah.
with Riri.
That was a
and
good
I think-
part of PR.
Yeah, that
Marvel's
was
part.
definitely, like, they made a PR move by doing that
Definitely.
and by showcasing some more of Stefano's art
Yeah.
of her,
Right.
but it was the right move to make.
Totally.
And I think that also speaks more to it because what Riri should represent is, and I'm not a black woman, so I can't speak for anyone, but
Yeah.
it is like a heroine for young black girls to look up to, and you
I
want to
agree.
be able to see them, like, that they can appreciate themselves for who they are.
Totally.
And not be changed so
Totally.
dramatically after.
So,
Yeah.
on that point, let's get into hero villain of the week. So,
Yes,
my
okay.
hero villain of the week, Quake. Quake, by far. That prison scene, that was so freaking amazing. I was like, yeah, Quake, let's do this. Kick some ass. Oh, wait, you're gonna kick more ass? Oh, yeah, let's keep on doing this. Like, I was so excited with that prison scene. One girl against like 20 guys, I was like, oh, she's about to get killed. And she got all the bruises at the end of the episode. I was like, all right, girl, you got your stripes. Give me a fist bump. That was so freaking amazing.
Mine is
Throw
Robbie.
it to Madison.
I love Robbie, man. I just love how he's just so empowered. This isn't him saying, "Oh, I'm new to this. I don't know how to control this." It's like, no, I know what I'm doing with this. Like first when he walked down that hallway, man, when he walked down that hallway, and everyone was just like, "Nope,
Nope.
I'm out.
I don't
I'm
want
out.
none of
No,
this."
I'm not gonna be doing that." And it was just like, "Yep,
Yeah.
Robbie. I love him."
Robbie Reyes.
I love both of those choices.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm gonna just go with the combo of Phil and Melinda because
All right.
I love them working together
All right.
to help their baby girl.
Yes.
Totally. All right, I
Phil
see
and
you.
Melinda, mommy and daddy.
Yeah.
Phil and Linda. And I'm gonna say, second, my brother Mac in arms.
Oh,
Mac.
yes.
All right, Mac
Always.
by far.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So we're gonna get a little bit aged to check in, but before we do that, we want to shout out BamSmackPal.com. Guys, they're a pretty dope site. They do a lot of comic stuff, a lot of fandom stuff. More than what we get into in Marvel, especially if you guys are like DC fans, anything like that. Definitely give them a ring and definitely check them out on their website because we're pretty impressed with what we've seen of their site so far. Tatiana,
Yes.
let's get into.
I'm a human being.
Hey, yes, you're a human being. And Madison's a human being, and I'm
I'm
of course,
actually
the most
solidly
gorgeous
made
one.
out of cotton candy, but that's just me.
I'm an android who's incredibly gorgeous.
I
it
knew
should
you
be
were
on
gonna
the
say
GQ
that. I
cover.
was like, a very attractive android.
I mean, I'm an android. Okay, no. All right, so let's get into what people are saying in the
Well,
comments.
Slim 413 RD. I was gonna say 413.
413 RD.
Yeah, but you got the RD at the end.
Yeah.
So anyway, they think that Eli will get some kind of power and take on Robbie, and I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I don't
because-
want to see that.
Yeah, I really
don't
love
wanna
their
see
dynamic
that.
already.
I love
but it
their
seems-
dynamic.
Yeah,
but
they were separated too early. So.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it seems like something that's gonna happen because you know the
Right.
thing with the book and him switching sides. Like, okay, that seems
course,
like it's gonna
yeah.
happen, but Robbie's gonna kick his butt.
He's like, I am possessed by the devil, and I would do this. No, kidding.
And now I got this chain. And
Oh, he got that chain. I was
everything
like,
with
yeah.
that chain, man. He
Holly
is so
gave
cool
us a
with that.
shout out.
Oh, thanks, Curt. We miss you, buddy.
Yeah. He thinks that we rule, which we do. That's
Of
true.
course.
I mean, more me than anything.
That's
But no,
it. You are the ruler.
kidding,
You are the ruler.
kidding. I'm not that cocky.
One Clement to rule them all.
What am I, dictator?
No, there's
Dictator of
one
Agents
ring.
of Marvel. Yes, everything that I say goes. No, okay, let's see what else we got. Retroactive and Pierre Kelly say hashtag too many white girls.
That's true. That's
All
true.
right, I'll do that.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry,
especially-
Maddie, but yeah.
I am a white girl,
especially
so
in comics and especially in
Totally.
series of comics, you know.
Yeah.
And I want to see, and you know, definitely more black girls specifically, but like I want to see more Latinas too, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
I want to see myself represented in some manner.
Agreed.
So.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But I don't want them to
definitely.
fall into the stereotypical
Right,
things,
exactly.
which they have started doing. It's like, no, it's okay. They can still be
Yeah.
real people
Right.
and still be that race.
You don't have to come from the streets to
Exactly.
be black or Latina.
Right.
Totally.
You know,
And, like, you don't have to be from the street. I'm from the Hardys, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Like,
You can
growing up
be-
in DC, people thought,
Yeah.
oh, you're from Southeast Brown. I'm like, no, I'm from
What?
the suburbs. Like,
Seriously?
what? Really?
Oh, Lord.
Me?
Yeah.
Steve Urkel looking guy? Like, no, that's not going to work. Let's see what else we got here. Jack Harden says, I hope Ghost Rider gets a good fight eventually. I hope he does too, but he's kicked some major ass this season so far.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, bringing out a chain with, what is it? Hellfire. Like,
Oh yeah,
shit
that was
dope.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Let's see what else we got
That
here.
was definitely the coolest thing so far.
All right, so Jack Harden says, plot twist, the real Coulson has been dead since the Avengers, and this Coulson is a clone.
I've heard that he was a robot, so it's
Mind
kind of
blown.
like.
I'm gonna have my Troy community Donald Glover freak out.
But you know what? If that's
What
true,
the hell?
that makes
That would
sense
be
why
amazing.
Melinda saw him on the other side.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Don't do it! Don't do it! Why would you say that? Don't say that! Oh my god!
But it would also be in keeping because like Joss is the one that wanted Coulson to stay dead.
Right.
I don't
His
like this
family are the
idea.
ones-
His
Yeah.
family are the ones.
We're gonna have a conversation about this show. Ugh. Slim, yes, a lot happened. I'm gonna revise my previous statement. A lot did happen, but it was more of like a bottle episode with the prison and with everything
Yeah,
with the
yeah,
ship.
yeah.
Let's
A
see
lot
what else we
happened
got.
internally, inside.
Yes. What is going on? I think that
So
is
many feels.
it. You had a question from Pierre on
yes.
Twitter, but I think we already addressed his question about the
Oh,
new
it was
Logan
about the-
trailer.
yeah.
So
Hope you like that, Pierre.
let's get back to the end. Unfortunately, we gotta wrap this episode, but we
Time goes by
so
so
fast.
fast.
But we do have some interesting news. So, guys, if you guys are going to what is it, Stanley's LA Comic Con this
yes.
weekend,
Formerly known as Kamikaze.
exactly, the Marvel Report, me and Tatiana's blog site, if you
yeah.
will, we are having 2 panels with some folks from Marvel Studios. Ryan Mindering, Andy Park, Mark Kolpak from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to
Yes,
be on
we're
there
gonna
for
have the
visual
VFX.
arts. Yep.
And concept art.
Concept art of the MCU. Guys, do not miss these panels. Both of these panels are going to be on Sunday at LA Comic Con. And you can come meet myself, Madison, and Tatiana
Yes,
because
we will
we're
be
all going to be
wandering.
there.
Yes,
The
I will be
halls.
wandering all throughout the convention filming. I will be dressed as Belle from Beauty and the Beast. If you see me, come say hi to me. I will give you a special prize that looks like one of these pins.
Totally.
Yeah.
For more information about the panels, definitely go to themarvelreport.com or Kamikaze, or what is it, LA Comic Con's
Yeah.
website now. I'm still getting used to that
I
because
know,
I've
I'm
still
not
never
ready,
done
I'm
that.
not
I
ready.
keep calling it
Yeah.
concept.
it's
I'm not
so
ready to
heavy.
let go.
Right,
Yeah,
I'm not ready to
that's
let
fine.
go. That's too soon. But guys, definitely come out and meet us. I'll be dressed as Black Panther meets Steve Urkel. That's gonna be great.
All right.
But kidding, I'm
right.
kidding. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it for Agents of Marvel.
Yeah.
Maddie, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me at youtube.com/Maddie to the Max and Maddie to the Max on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr. Please subscribe to me on YouTube. That is where you will see the most of me.
Totally.
Oh, nice.
Tatiana, where can we find you?
Oh my God, too many places. Tatiana Hullender. You can find me on Twitter at Marcella's Ear. And you can find me on Tumblr, which is where you can ask me a bunch of questions about my thoughts on any show. And it's ValerieMPerez.tumblr.com. And that's not my secret name. Valerie Perez is Bart Allen's girlfriend on In the Flash.
No more DC! No more DC! As usual, guys, you can find me at Clement Bryant on Twitter and Instagram, and find me on Facebook and LinkedIn if you need to find me. So thank you for all of us here from turning into another episode of Agents of Marvel. We'll see you next week with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode, what is it, 6?
Six.
Six.
I think so.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
I don't know. There's too many. There's too much going on. And we will see you next week, guys. Thanks for tuning in again, and take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Mwah.
And no more DC stuff.
I'm sorry.